Rise and shine, everybody. Well, I guess it's 10:30 California time. Happy Sunday. Hoy. The Schumann resonance, 82, I believe, yesterday. I don't know if any of y'all felt it, but it was pretty intense. But I wanted to talk about today on this call. I call it a call, wake-up call, whatever you want to call it, is waking up. Is getting to a point where if you're going through a spiritual awakening, because I know there's waves and waves and waves, and everyone has their own divine timeline. And I think one thing that happens is, I call it the iPhone effect. And the iPhone effect is simply this. Imagine when the iPhone first came out. Everybody had their flip phones, everybody had their razors and their, just the little flip phones or like this. And what happens is, someone got an iPhone, maybe while you're in high school or in college or middle school. Someone got an iPhone. And that one person who got the iPhone, it's like, oh, look at them. They're kind of different. They're doing their own thing, or they get this fancy new technology. So at first, it's confusing because you're like, wait a minute, do I need an iPhone? Do I need to get one? Do I need to upgrade? And that's kind of now, I think, where everyone is at. A lot of people with their spiritual awakening is, wait a minute, people are waking up. Am I missing out on something? Am I not recognizing something? Am I not aware of something? What's going on? And so back to the iPhone, another person got an iPhone, and then another person gets an iPhone, and then another person gets an iPhone. Next thing you know, your whole school student body has an iPhone, and you're still trying to use your flip phone. And you're holding on to that flip phone because, I apologize if it's shaky, because of the attachments to things. And I think that's another one big thing that has been coming up that I actually, kid you not, those of you who are on here, you hear me being vulnerable. I cried this morning because I realized I still had attachments to things. Attachments to certain things in relationships. But to keep it short and simple with you guys, I think attachments can be manifested in all kinds of different things, whether they're materialistic things, whether they're even other people, our family and friends, gyms, foods, sports. We get these unconscious attachments, and that keeps us from really awakening to our true self. And those attachments, we think we physically have to see it, when in reality, it's far from it. It's actually energetically. We don't see the light spectrum. Remember, guys, we see about 1% of the light spectrum. Those attachments are on the other 99% that we can't necessarily see with our eyes. Remember, the eyes look and the mind sees. So those who are struggling maybe to accept that we're heading in towards an age of a spiritual awakening, or an age of a higher vibration, or a more conscious society, which is happening, whether you agree to it or not, it's happening. We've got to remember that whenever maybe you got a smartphone, what was that attachment to that flip phone? Maybe it was an easy switch, maybe it was a difficult switch, maybe it was resistance in making that switch. And whatever it is, that's your journey, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think that's a powerful thing to remember, is each one of us having our spiritual awakening, whether it's waking up to ourself, waking up to corruption in the world, waking up to the monetary system, waking up to the agriculture system, anything. Pick a system, pick a niche, pick a category, because it was all designed that way to keep us from remembering who we are. It was designed to keep us in a low vibrational survivor, scarcity, victim mentality. Thus, we go outside of ourselves to try to figure out how to take care of these things. And so, as people are now waking up to unlimited potential, there's a really amazing thing I heard from this man named Huda Flash. And by the way, if you're available at 11:11 today, Jilly is going to be doing a live with Huda Flash. And little disclaimer, it goes deep. It's pretty deep, beyond stuff that most can comprehend. Just like me saying, let's say it was 1999 and I said, hey, there's an iPhone coming out that does everything that you possibly think you can do. And that's like, whoa, no, hold on, no, you're crazy. That's a little deep there. Whoa, well, that's where we're headed. And that's just what Jilly's going to be going over at 11:11 on her IG Live with Huda Flash. But what he said was, there's two phases of AI, right? When we think about AI, what do we think about? We go artificial intelligence, right? Duh. And you ask someone else, artificial intelligence, right? Of course, artificial intelligence. And everyone's going to say artificial intelligence. Well, remember, there's thousands of lenses and there's thousands of views, right? What if it could be authentic intelligence? Could AI mean authentic intelligence? And if so, what does that mean? What does authentic intelligence means? Authentic intelligence is simply the intelligence that's within all of us. Within all of us. And how do we forget that? Well, the moment we're born, we're told what to do. The moment we're born, the first 7 years of our life, we're given a set of rules, ways of living, how to speak, how to be manners, how to do things, how to exercise, how to walk, how to talk. We're shown it. And maybe not always given that space to discover it. When we discover things within ourselves, that is authentic intelligence. When we rely on things outside of ourselves, that is an artificial intelligence. So they've caught us in a matrix. They've kept us in that state of being where they don't want us to remember who we are, right? And so as we keep evolving and we keep understanding these things, we get fearful of artificial intelligence. Basically what we're saying is we're fearful because we're continuing to rely on things outside of us to give us the power we're constantly seeking and we're entitled to and given to since birth. Authentic intelligence helps us bring us back to that present moment where we actually know all the answers. Remember, truth is something found, not told. Right? It's a great saying and a great kind of reminder. Because I could tell you guys here all day. I could talk to you all day, and it doesn't matter. Because the only thing that matters is you finding it within yourself, that authentic intelligence, right? If you're relying on me or this iPhone to tell you everything, that could be potentially artificial. It's those aha moments. It's those, oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I've heard that before. Well, of course, because it's all within you. You know, it's all within you, and that's a huge part in your awakening as you return back to origin. As you raise your consciousness, remember, it's just becoming more aware of things. Now you just have more awareness. You have more awareness maybe of what AI could potentially be or what awakening can potentially be. Because, like I said, everyone is shifting in that lens. Everyone is going to that phase of being. But just like when people got the iPhone, over time, next thing you know, you're the only person at your school without an iPhone. And it's like, oh boy. And it's almost like the world is caving in on you in a way. I know it's an extreme analogy, but just bear with me on it. And so lately, more and more, people are going through some dark nights of the souls. People are waking up to corruption. People are starting to connect dots. People are starting to become aware of things that they honestly didn't even want to accept or recognize. It's very easy to not look at, let's say, sex trafficking. Oh my gosh, no, that's a sensitive subject, Chris. Well, yeah, that's why nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to look at it because your natural state doesn't want to go there because that's not pure. But that's what this thing has been so distorted, and a big thing of this awakening is going to be about children. And I'm giving you guys a heads up, those that are on here right now, children and money. That right there is the currency of for evil to manifest into this world. There's fear, hate, and greed. Those three. For me, I believe greed is at the top because greed disconnects you from source. Greed disconnects you from connection. Greed connects you from unity. And what's the easiest way to manipulate and be greedy? That's why no one likes it. Those that like it have a lot of it. So when you're understanding that greed stems back, let's look at your life. Let's say you're getting projected on. Let's say you're getting told what to do. Let's say you're being told how to live your life. Let's say you're being just thrown at stuff. You're like, what? I did not do any of this. And I had an amazing conversation with two of close friends of mine yesterday. And we went down these little wormholes. But under it all, what struck me later in the day and this morning was greed. And understanding that, let's say everyone in the world had millions of dollars. Would they still project? No, because they're abundant. They're full of life. They're full of happiness. And they just realized how much power they gave to money. And so the joint powers that be, those that do not want you awakening, those that do not want you becoming conscious and aware of this greed, have distorted it and have used money to manipulate us. And that's why money is such a sensitive topic. That's why money is such a sensitive subject, because without money, you might not have a house. Without money, you might not have water. Without money, you might not have food. Without money, you might not have friendships or jobs or authenticity or value or self-worth or success or recognition, because money is what makes this world go. But this world is still going even if money wasn't there. So the elites have hijacked this, and they've gone all the way to the top. Because if you think about it, there's 7.7 billion people in this world. And if you asked all 7.7 billion people if they need money to survive, I would say a majority would say yes, absolutely. Without money, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get insurance? What am I going to do? What if I get sick and this? But all those things, again, stemming from outside of them. I talk about wealth consciousness a lot. Wealth consciousness is knowing you have enough. And when you know you have enough and you are enough, things will come into your reality. But that's another conversation itself. But to get back on that topic of fear, greed, and hate. Right now, the coronavirus, full of fear. Right? Full of fear. Everyone is scared from the last 4 or 5 months, the virus itself. They're fearful of getting sick. Then you have hate. We have the racism. We have the Black Lives Matter movement. We have all of those things going on in society, creating hate and divide and separation, which are processes in itself. And I'm not going through each of these specifically. And then you have greed. That's the economy. That's the money. So those 3 pillars are literally bringing people to the darkest places in their life where they no longer can run, because in the past we used to run, including myself, to sports, to stimulants, to distractions, to Hollywood, to celebrities, maybe to amusement parks, to numbing, to gossip, to reality TV, to talk shows. You just keep going on and on and on. But if you realize and you zoom out, that's the matrix. That's the very thing that's kept us in this fear, hate, and greed for so long. And so now, because all those things have been cut from this virus, but in reality is a smoke screen, take a deep breath, is a smoke screen for something bigger going on behind the scenes. I'm not saying the virus is fake. I'm not saying it at all. Are there people getting sick and being tested for it? Absolutely. Just like they would for the flu or the cold. It's just the fear that comes with it from the media. So, the light, the awareness, the awakening source in all things have used that coronavirus smokescreen to go ahead and create an operation, to go ahead and create a reset, so to speak, to go ahead and create a awakening, perhaps, but not where they awaken you. You awaken yourself, given the space that the light makes for you. And that's something to really, really remember and hone on in. And if this is a lot, take a deep breath. Don't expect to get it all in one moment. The biggest takeaways is to just acknowledge what is. Not fake it till you make it, but talk about, become aware, feel those fears, the hate and the greed maybe still in you. And then start discovering and discussing and figuring out those ways to transmute it. Some of those ways to transmute, I talked about it yesterday. Breathing, drinking water, meditating, sitting out in nature. And you're like, Chris, that's just, there's no way. How can I get rid of all those lower emotions with those things? There's no way. Well, if that's your mindset, if that's your belief system, then of course there isn't a way. Because that's your inner truth. That's your inner reality. And that is something you have to discover yourself. I cannot do it for you. But I can remind you and I can leave you breadcrumbs. Why? Because I went through it myself back in 2017, and here we are 3 years later. And I've been very particular and very meticulous and very strategic on the breadcrumbs I drop without leaving you guys in the middle of nowhere in the ocean with no life vest. Because I'm not about that. I'm not going to leave you in the ocean with no life vest. Some quote-unquote gurus, which I am not, don't know, put me on a pedestal, please. I'm right there with you. You know, they'll say you've got to go in the depths alone and you got to find your way. I'm like, okay, well, sure, you can go alone, but, you know that you have a safe space to transmute. Know that you have a community, and that's why community is so important. Community allows communication, which creates collaboration, which builds collection, which raises consciousness and creates anew. So those are all such important concepts to grasp. So those are, again, I'm driving and I just felt called to share some things. I know there's some questions. This is awesome for those that are on here. You're getting some little gems here. I wanted to share it. Is NESARA and GESARA going to be implemented soon? That is a loaded question. But if you want my lens, yes. Yes. And the latest that I've discovered in research and people I've talked to that work with very, hear me out, very, I don't even know the word, not strong people, but very well-versed, high energetic beings that understand what is happening in the financial system, we could see something as soon as August 1st. Don't mark me on the dates. I don't like putting dates out, but early August. Could it not be that? Not at all. However, there are a lot of things going behind the scenes. Side note, if you guys did not know what had happened in March, the President of America, which will no longer be the United States of America because that's a corporation, the President of America, he took over the Federal Reserve. You didn't hear about that, though. There we go. It's not something you're going to hear or see on CNN. It's not like that. You're never going to hear it because those that control and own CNN and all the mainstream media controlled the Federal Reserve. Connect the dots. All the mainstream media is bought and owned by the Federal Reserve, which holds the world hostage with their central banks. This goes back to the Rothschilds back in the 1700s. It goes deep. It's a lot of history that isn't the Oregon Trail, isn't the Mona Lisa, isn't things we learned in school. It's stuff that wasn't in the history books. Because if the mainstream media is false and fake, because it is, what do you think are history books? Who do you think wrote those in schools? The same people that own the media, the same people that own the banks. It's all connected. It's all part of the matrix system. So to answer your question, I believe sooner than later. It's a slow, you've got to do a lot. But to break it down a little bit, and Jilly's going to talk about this at 11:11, is there's bonds of over 40 trillion in gold that have been, what do I say? How do I say it? They've been bought out, or what's the word? They've been put into the system. The United States is in debt, but is no longer in debt. The United States owes China $17 trillion, if you didn't know that. 17 is a very powerful number, and look what letter it associates with in the alphabet. 17 trillion has been paid and repaid to China. But in order for China to go back and accept that repayment, they had to go from a communist state to a free republic state. And it happened. Go research it. It's happened. Mainstream media is not going to report it because the people that own the banks own the mainstream media. It's just slowly those are all getting cut. I'm just giving you some breadcrumbs. I'm not giving you the whole truth. I want you to discover it. But yes, all of this is being bought out. Russia, India, China, the United States, those big four countries and their currencies are all going to be resetting shortly. And when that resets shortly, everything's paid off. But what's going to happen is all the corruption of those people, because there are levels to these things, guys, right? The Chinese Communist Party, President Xi Jinping, that's his name if I messed it up, he has people in the parliament, in the government, in the cabinets that actually do corrupt things. They money launder, sex trafficking, all that stuff. It's very dark and very deep. So they've had taken money from taxpayers, you and I's money in the United States. They've taken that money and they've used it to fund illegal operations behind our back. Why? Because they'll just throw the NFL at you. They'll throw the Kardashians at you. They'll throw a new Hollywood movie at you. And we can't wait for that Friday premiere. But that same Friday, millions of people are getting slaughtered of slavery and of corruption and poverty because of these banks and these elites. So now we're taking that power back. And so that is all ending. That's all happening. And there's going to be a financial reset. So yes, to answer your question, I know I can go on about this forever and ever and ever. And some of it I download in meditation. Some of it I research. Some of it I connect dots. Some of it I talk to people. That's just what has been passionate for me lately. So hopefully that makes some sense. What I don't understand is that some people are complaining about government but are wearing local mandated masks. That's a loaded question. I'm not sure what the exact question is. There's a lot of things. Sometimes it's hard to understand, but I'll say try to understand. What does it mean to you? What can you do in your life? Because if we get caught in what's outside and we forget what's inside, that could be very, very tough. You're messing with just what I need is the spirit. Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. And breathe through it. Yesterday, the advice you gave me about lower back pain was awesome. The pain went away. Wow. Denise, that's so amazing. You did it. You did it, not me. You know, so I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. My little breadcrumb. You know, how can I take something and embody it? Anybody have like another question before I jump off? Or do you guys want to learn a little bit more about the financial system? Is that interesting or what? Okay, so the account. So if you guys, I'm going to put here, it's my partner's account. It's Water Priestess. So to give you a little preview, that's who's going to be doing it at 11:11. To give you a preview, like I said, she's going to be doing a live with this person called Huna Flash. And he works with very powerful people, beings, not just human beings, but actual energetic beings, galactics and such. Yes, they are real. Extraterrestrials are a real thing, and we'll be shown that soon in D class. But she's going to be talking about different things from like the Q movement, the financial reset. There's going to be talking about water, 0 point, redoing the grid, and all kinds of things. So it's very powerful, and I've learned a lot from this man named Huna Flash and who he works with, and it is absolutely incredible. For example, let's see, what else can I tell you? So with the financial system, we are probably going to be moving to 4 crypto-based quantum financial systems that are backed by gold. That's the thing. The Federal Reserve, guys, is backed by nothing. Did you guys know that? Your dollar, so let's say, do I even have a dollar? Oh, by the way, the word US dollar will be gone soon. It's going to be called the US note. The US note. A dollar, and another thing, see, they just keep coming. So the dollar, you guys know how on the dollar it says, "In God we trust"? So God is not the God we think. "In God we trust" is government ordination declaration. Don't quote me on that, something along those lines. It's not God that we know is everything. It's government ordination declaration. In the government order and declare we trust. We basically just gave our power away to the government, and this fake money be printed to then control our life and have us fight each other for, the nicest car, getting out of debt, who's got a better credit score, and we get away from love in the heart space. So that's why I think, for me, greed, hate, and fear are the 3 pillars of the darkest lower vibrations. But to hone it in, greed, money creates fear with people, right? If I don't have enough money, I won't pay my bills. I'm so scared. Fear, right? If I don't have money, I'm going to hate that person who does have money. Hate, right? So fear, hate, and greed, right? Fear, hate, and greed. So yeah, look at your dollar bill. The dollar bill itself is black magic, by the way. If you fold it certain ways, you could see the Twin Towers burning down. If you fold it certain ways, you could see little owls. You could see owls. 3 higher vibrations: love, compassion, gratitude. Who taught that? Jesus Christ. He was the first one to wake up thousands of years ago. Do you guys know we're in the same cycle we are in now that we were when Jesus Christ was here? Christ consciousness is coming back. It's not in one person, it's in all of us. Do the research, connect dots, it's so fun. But it's eye-opening, it's a lot to handle. Breathe, hydrate, right? Yeah, people have lost the word of God because the word was hijacked. Word magic, right? Word magic. It's all been hijacked. All been hijacked. Yeah, love, compassion, and gratitude. The police officers, as far as that goes, a lot of them are paid out. They're more so agents of CIA intelligence. So they go in as policemen, but really they're not policemen. They're just operatives. They're agents. Some are not even actual people, but that's another discussion. Again, breathe. If some things are triggering or confusing you, it's okay. You're going to get through it. We're going to get through it together. We can do this. We're going to help each other get through it. But yes, the word of God has been hijacked. The word itself, right? Word magic. Remember, words create vibrations. Vibrations create matter. So even me talking, that's why you guys go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You hear all these things, and it's because you're feeling the vibration of the word. And the vibration is what triggers you. Right? It's not necessarily the word itself. So just be mindful of it, right? With the birthing, birth certificates, your parents, it's a pair of people that are renting you because they sold you to the United States when you were born with your birth certificate. Research the law of Admiralty law of water. That's what we came into. The Admiralty law of water is what the matrix system is created. That's why a lot of people have offshore accounts. Why? Because their money is offshore in the waters, which now cannot be prosecuted. Why do you think money is not in a lot of banks? It's in offshore accounts. Offshore, it's in the water. Admiralty Law of Water, and I learned this a lot from Jilly, Water Priestess, who's going to be doing the water, or the interview, my partner that I've known for 12 years and helped me with all this. What I'm doing with you guys is what she helped me with as well. So I learned a lot about this. So these offshore accounts is able to hide the money, which is fake money. Yeah, parents. It's a pair of people. You love them dearly, right? So let's say this, whoever your mom and dad is, detach that they're your mom and dad. They're two souls. They're energies. It's you and them. The same energy through you, God energy, life force, is in your mom and dad, right? So, but when you were born, if you signed a birth certificate, if you have a birth certificate, you literally, they just sold you and they had no idea to the government because your birth certificate is also on the stock exchange. Who controls the stock exchange? Well, London. Because there's three pillars that manifest in these lower vibrations, right? You have fear in terms of, military. That's Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is a district of Columbia. It's a capital. There's an obelisk there, and obelisk is on ley lines. There's certain places in the world that are on ley lines. Washington, D.C., quote unquote, owns the world's strongest military, the United States military, with all the tech, all of that stuff. And if you go to London, right? London, that controls greed. London controls all the world's money. All the stock markets, all the Federal Reserve, the exchanges, that's where all the money goes through there. Vatican, that's the hate. That's the spirituality, right? The emotional side, the psychological side, the spiritual side is hijacked as well. And so all of these things, Washington, D.C., London, and the Vatican, those are the three pillars. And then that is also connected to the five eyes, right? Which are the kind of the optic lens, which kind of see everything, right? The big brother process, that's all being shut down. The Queen of England is no longer there. Buckingham Palace is shut down. Again, you're not going to see it on mainstream media because those that control all this stuff own the mainstream media. So that's why I say question everything. Question things. As soon as you hear something, don't go, oh, that's true. Because look how many times we do that. Oprah tells us something, oh, that's true. Right? Ellen DeGeneres tells us something, oh, that's true. Right? Oh, hold on, wait a minute. But Ellen was Dory in Finding Nemo. But then I'll say, who owns Disney? What's their intention? Yeah, don't go down that wormhole until you're ready. And so all these celebrities and these idols, right? There is a new king. So all these celebrities and idols are exactly that. We put them on a pedestal, and what do? We give them our power. We give them our power. We give them our power. And what happens when we know what their true intentions are? That power is going to come back to us quick. It's going to come back to us quick, and you just have to anchor yourself and structure yourself to receive all this power. Because, imagine if this world, and I'm going to say imagine because that's where we're headed, money didn't exist anymore. And I'm not saying it didn't exist, but it does exist. It's just not running your life. Like, well, you remember people always ask, what would you do if you had all the money in the world? What would you do, if money didn't exist? Where does your mind go? Oh my God, I would build elephant shelters. Oh my gosh, I would rescue children. Oh my gosh, I would travel the world. We'll get ready because you're going to be able to do all that. Start manifesting now. Writing in your journal now. See it. Even if your ego goes, come on, Chris, that's not happening. You can't make an elephant orphanage. You don't have any money. Your higher self's going, wait a minute, you don't know what money is. Because the money you're talking about, ego, is fake. It's fake money. Fake teachers. Fake leaders. Fake politicians. Fake celebrities. Fake actors. It's all fake. Because all those things are just telling you you don't have it within you. All 27 you've on here, y'all are teachers. Y'all are masters. You all have so many answers. But what happens is fear, greed, and hate get in the way of exploring your gifts. When you fear things, you detach from love. You get away from the heart. You get stuck in the head. That's why the distance from your head to your mind, or your head to your heart, 18 inches, the longest distance you can travel in your life. But once you go there and back and you connect them, guess what? What's in the middle? Your words, your sound, your vibration, your truth. When you speak your truth, people go, I resonate more with you than Oprah. Why? Because they just saw something in you that's already within you. And so as you connect your meridians and you really bring it back to yourself and you get away from these fake things outside of you, you start remembering how powerful you are. And that's what they don't want you to wake up to. There's a man named Dick Gregory. I'm not sure if you guys know who that is. He said if you took away tobacco, nicotine, and alcohol for a week, the U.S. military would have to bring in army tanks into the world, into the United States, to literally keep you from waking up immediately. That's how close we are. That's literally how close we are. But here we are today. We're closer than ever. It's absolutely amazing. It's the greatest time to be alive, right? It's the greatest time to be alive. And guess what? You all chose to be here. Y'all chose to jump on this video. Y'all are going to choose to do the things you want to do the rest of the day. Everything is a choice. You picked up your phone. You chose to do that. You clicked on Instagram. You chose to do that. You clicked on my live. You chose to do that. The more you took 3 conscious decisions to get here, to hear this, to hear me speak, not from Chris O'Brien, not from Come Out Better. This is my higher self. This is what's now is channeling all the time. And no, channeling is not something only a spiritual person can do. Y'all can do it. Y'all do it every single day. Just be mindful of the channel you're broadcasting. Be mindful that it's not a channel of Fox News. Be mindful that it's not a channel of your favorite celebrity. Be mindful if it's not a channel of your favorite athlete you've given your life and power to. What's your channel? What station is it? 111.1? 222.2? Your choice. You got it all. I'm just here to remind you. So if you're getting some juice bumps, if you're getting some chills, if you're getting some epiphanies, it's already within you. You're just reading your DNA. because our DNA is activating. That's why it's shitty feeling right now for a lot of people, because they're literally becoming what they never thought they could actually be, because they gave their power away to fake money, fake people, fake teachers, fake idols, illusions, programs, everything outside. But goodness, going inside, that's tough. It's tough. What other questions we got? You guys are amazing. I love the energy. You guys want me to do more of these? I say it every time, but I really got to do more of these because I love talking. I love speaking my truth. And I was one to shy away from it for so long. And if you're on here, give yourself a hug. I kid you not. I think sometimes you got to remember that you can be your biggest fan. And the more you love yourself, the more others are going to love you. And the more you love yourself, the more you can love others, because love is a high vibration, the highest possible. Love, compassion, and gratitude. So don't forget that. You have all that you need. Let's see. Yeah, celebrities and athletes coming back from this. There are good celebrities. There are good athletes. That's the thing. I don't want you guys to think they're all bad. There's a balance in everything. Life has balance. You know, all the dark things, right? Love, hate, or fear, hate, and greed. There's love, compassion, and gratitude. There's fear, hate, and greed in celebrities and these idols, but there's also love, compassion, and gratitude in some. And you'll know who, because they speak pretty loud. And those that are kicked out of Hollywood, for example, or those that are kind of like shunned upon, like Mel Gibson, right? He's not in movies anymore. He didn't get any more roles. No, why? Because he called out them all pedophiles. He started telling about all the sacrifices and all that stuff. So as soon as you speak your truth, you're gone, because you're not in the club anymore. It's a giant club, and they don't want you in it. And if you're in it, you got to do some funky stuff. So a lot of athletes and celebrities won't come back ever from it. Hollywood's not going to be the same. It probably won't even be around. It'll be more independent films of enlightenment and because there's a lot of great directors. There's a lot of great movies. And if you pay attention, they're trying to warn you. They're trying to give you a heads up. What's an example? Like the Avengers. Oh my gosh. Maybe you got to watch Avengers. Like, oh, that's black magic. This, well, depends what lens you're looking through. But yeah, celebrities are gone. Yeah, they're irrelevant. It's just because we gave them our power. They feed off that, right? The concerts. Did you guys know a lot of football stadiums and entertainment stadiums are on ley lines? You know what ley lines are? So ley lines are placed all over the world. all over the world. And this is new to you. That's perfect. This is exactly what maybe you want to hear because you chose to be here. Ley lines are all over the world. What's another thing that's on ley lines? Washington, D.C., the Vatican, the Buckingham Palace. Here's another one. Ready? I hate to trigger if anybody eats animal products, but slaughterhouses are on ley lines. Evil harnesses suffering of animals on ley lines. Did you guys know that? It's dark, but it's okay because it's changing. And it's changing right in front of our eyes. But these ley lines, they harness energy, and the elites and the dark things have been hijacking. We've just been hijacked, right? And the whole Matrix is a documentary. No, it's not. Matrix is not a documentary. And Matrix is not a documentary, my friends. The Matrix is a trailer. The Matrix is a trailer. Like, wait a minute, what's the movie then? Ready? Look around. You're in it. That's the movie. The Matrix isn't a documentary. The Matrix is you are making the movie. So you can either watch the Matrix and get caught in it, or step out of it and create it. Right? Neo unplugging, right? You guys know why he's called Neo? Neocortex. That's where your consciousness sits. You unplug. Hey, it's just a trailer. It's not the movie. It's not even the documentary. You're creating it. And so what you're watching on TV with the president, with his actions, with the Democrats and all this stuff, right? The puppets. Y'all know this. I know you do. You're watching a movie. And guess what? We're in the last 20 minutes of the movie. Because I've been watching the whole 2 hours. You know how most people sometimes fast forward to the end? A lot of people are trying to fast forward to the end right now. But they're just getting past the opening trailer. So wherever you're at in your movie, wherever you're at in your story, because y'all are writing it every single day. Remember, you pressed get on this. You hit your finger. This little finger here, this little finger is doing conscious decisions to create your movie. The things you're writing and all these things too. But the greatest part is, where is it? Here you go. Here's what I'm gonna get. Here's what everything's being given back to you. Here, take it. Start writing your own journey. Start writing your own story. And when you do, you're gonna raise your magnetism. Your vibrations are gonna start raising. Whether it's journaling, whether it's affirmations, these little things that only spiritual people do. Well, guess what? Everyone's spiritual. They just don't realize it yet, or haven't woken up to it yet. Because I can't tell them they are. They have to find it. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of people right now trying to tell people what to do, trying to tell people how they should be or what to think or what they should share. The moment you tell someone what to do, right, you're taking their power. It's a power battle. Life is a game of energy. We're constantly giving and taking energy, right, at the macro level and the micro level. What's the macro? Well, money, giving and taking money. What's the micro level? Our cells. Oh my gosh, here we go. Our cells give and take energy. Free radicals take from good things. Give and take. Taking our power. So when we're putting bad things in our body, when we're putting EMFs in our body, when we're putting all kinds of junk in our body, we're just saying, I'm taking power away from myself. But I'm conscious of it. I don't care because I'm numbing. Because I gave my power away to a celebrity. So I'm going to sabotage, eat some junk, drink, and do all this stuff. Again, if you do it, I love you. But I'm just bringing some awareness. You're just taking power away from you at the cellular level because those free radicals and all that gunk is taking. All right, electrons. Why do you think it's called elections? Oh, God. I know I might be blowing some third eyes open right now, but the elections every 4 years, it's a battle of your electrons. And Jilly and I have had portals about this over time. If you guys think this talk is mind-blowing, we have so much to share. And we're just doing it very slowly and meticulously. She's going a little faster than me, but I've got a little bit more different way of sharing it, and I'm going to get there. But yeah, it just, the elections and electrons, word magic is powerful. But I guess to wrap it all up, because I just got to my parents, and Jilly's live starting in 10 minutes, which I want you guys to jump on if you want to keep this flowing, is just to remember that there's an awakening happening. Wherever you're at, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't try to speed up because someone told you. Don't try to slow down because you're comparing. Just be present with yourself. Probably in the last, 20 minutes? Did you check the time? Did you think about yesterday? Did you think about last week? Maybe, but if you didn't, you're present. That's the greatest gift in the world. And I truly feel I unlocked that this morning. I cried a lot this morning, guys. Kid you not, I cried a lot. That's probably why I feel so good. Transmuted a lot. Because I used to unconsciously still do a few things that kept me out of that present. And that's within my gift, my genetics. If you guys ever heard of the book called The Gene Keys, again, it's a reminder. It's not all end all be all. It's a reminder that you all have gifts, but we all have shadows. Because to see light, there's got to be darkness. If you're in a dark room, how can you see a flickering light? Well, you've got to be able to be in a dark room first. Right? There's always a balance. Darkness isn't bad. It's like saying, well, when you're in the womb of your mother, it was all dark. Is that bad? Oh, no, that's where your mother was giving you life. Well, of course. So darkness isn't bad. It's just the program we've associated with because we've given our power away. So getting away from fear, greed, and hate, those low vibrational things with money, racism, and coronavirus, which is now manifested into our reality, to purge. It's not going to be here for long. It's going to be purging. That won't be here. It's gone. It's already gone. Think of it this way. The car drove by, and we're like, oh, shh. The world is getting hit with the wind that's coming in the aftermath. We're catching up. That's why all this stuff is done. The reset is done. The release of cures are done. The pedophilia, the sex trafficking is coming to an end. It's all done. It's the great awakening. It's the greatest time to be alive. So make sure you're just transmuting into love, compassion, and gratitude. Being mindful of giving your power away to other people, fake money, fake idols. Really understanding who you are and what you stand for and what you're about. And just bringing it back to the present moment and then sharing that with others, right? Connecting your mind and your heart and then speaking that truth in the middle. That's where that connection is, right? Adam and Eve, Adam's apple, all in the atomic level, all as a tomb. So much magic everywhere. Just got to pause for clarity and you'll see it. It's right in front of you. So thank you guys. You guys have been amazing. I know, gosh, there's so much. You guys have so many questions. You're awesome. I love it. Yeah, y'all are supported. Y'all are loved. Y'all are going back to your inner child. Remember, we're going back in time. You guys, 6 planets in retrograde, right? Yeah, it's pulling everybody back to their childhood. When you're at your childhood, did you worry about money when you were a kid? Did you ever think about racism? Were you scared of getting germs? Hell no. You put dirt in your mouth. You didn't care. Get back to that inner child. It's right there. It just wants to see you. Wants you to be seen. What else? Yeah. Gene Keys, I've read a few. You just got to go at your pace. Don't get too caught up in the right way to do it. Just feel it. So, all right, guys. You guys are amazing. Have a good rest of your day. Much love. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Go watch 5 minutes. Check out Jilly, at Water Priestess. I'm going to type it here one more time for you. At Water Priestess. If you want to keep this channel flowing, there you go. Check out her live. Started raining, so it is. Universe is talking. All right, check out her live. We'll see you guys next time. Love you. Come out better.